And carabooning, folks, that means welcome aboard my truck slide all the way across the seats. You have children go into the center of the seats, away from the edges of the truck for their safety. That's right, children in the center, adults on the outside. Now, now watch your hands and fingers on the right side because Pam will be shutting those doors for us. Now, the most important thing of all is everyone on the vehicle must remain fully seated at all times throughout the entire safari. And that does include adults and children. Everyone's seated back there, Pam? All right, then, here we go. All right, well, good morning, everyone. My name is Everett, and I'm going to be your safari driver for this 2-week photo safari. Now, if you're going to be taking any videos or photographs on a reserve out here, hold on to your cameras very, very tightly, because no matter what you drop from the truck, the reserve will not let me stop to pick it up. So use your camera straps. Look up above your heads, you'll see my game spotting guides. Now, those will help you identify any of the animals you might see out there on the reserve that I might not see as I'm driving. Now, we do have all those animals out here, but of course we'll never get to see them all in one safari, but hopefully we have pretty good luck and get to see lots of animals out here on our safari. Now, this reserve is constantly patrolled by airborne wardens, and I'm required to check in with one of those wardens as we enter. If they're in range, that is, because sometimes they're in range and sometimes they're not. After all, it is an 800 square mile reserve, so we'll find out if they're in range shortly. Now, again, for safety's reasons, if you do have food with you, put your food away. There's no eating on the safari truck during the safari for our safety. That's right, I don't want any animals trying to jump up in the truck here and take your snacks away from you, so no food. And as I said, all children towards the center before we enter the reserve for their safety. Because if you don't, and your children reach out of the truck and get injured by an animal or a bush with giant thorns on it or something like that, well, I told you so. And it's be your responsibility to protect your children from things such as this on the safari. And everyone must remember that you have to remain seated at all times, and that does include your children. If you have small children, sit them on your lap. They get a better view that way, but keep them seated. That's right, no lifting children into the air to look at animals, and no passing them back and forth across the truck. Where you and your children are seated right now is where you must remain fully seated for the next 2 weeks. That's right. Now we're going to see if we get a touch of one of those wardens right now. Let's see if we might be able to get it. Now this is a Simba 1 to the airborne warden. Can you read me?
Simba 1, this is Warden Wilson Mukua. Over.
I'm entering the reserve at the Little Aturi Forest with a 2-week photo safari. Over.
Hamjangur, Simba 1. Keep your eyes open and drive carefully. You should see lots of animals.
Well, roger that, Wilson. I see something already. Over. Now, just walk by that bamboo over there. I saw an okapi. Now, okapi, they have stripes like a zebra, but they're the only known relative of the giraffe. They were not even discovered until 1901 by the Western world, because they lived so far back in the forest here. And it wasn't until just September of last year the first photograph of a wild okapi was ever taken. That's how rare that animal is. This forest is home to another rare animal as well, the black rhino. We'll be lucky to find one of them because hundreds of thousands of them were slaughtered just for the horn they have on their heads. And well, luck is with us. There's one standing right there next to the watering hole on the just the other side of it there. Now, the black rhino, their skin is over 1 inch thick, and that makes them impervious to most predators. All but for the predator known as man, of course. And unfortunately, there's only 4,200 of them left in the entire world today. And they're not even entirely safe even here because of poachers and illegal hunters. Now, these birds right next to us on our left, these are yellow-billed storks. They like to eat fish and frogs and snakes, and sometimes even other birds. All right. Let's see if we can find anything out. Well, I just spotted a greater kudu coming up on our right-hand side, right up there in the forest on that hill. Now, that gray animal, that is the second largest antelope in Africa. Males can weigh around 750 pounds. And up on top of the hill, there's some reddish-brown animals hiding in the bushes up there. And just by their color, I know those are bongo. The bongo's nickname is the ghost of the forest. Because they're, well, just like that, they're usually very rarely seen. And over here on the left-hand side, I just spotted a saddlebill stork, a couple of them. Now, those big black and white birds there, they are the largest stork in Africa. They can stand 6 feet tall, and they do have a wingspan that reaches 9 feet wide. They get their name by a big yellow saddle shape up on the top of their bill. And right now, we're going to head over towards the Safi River and see if we might be able to find any Nile hippopotamus there today. Now, I usually have pretty good luck because hippos like to spend all day in the river. And that does protect them from the sun because they can get a sunburn just as easily as us humans can. So keep an eye on the river because you never know when one could just pop right up out of the water anytime down there. Newborn calves, they weigh about 85 pounds. Males can weigh upwards to 5,000 pounds. Now, they'll come out of the river when the sun goes down and they'll eat about 150 pounds of vegetation every night. And I just spotted quite a few of them coming up on our left-hand side, just the other side of that little island right there as we follow the river. Now, lots of people think because they're so large they can't swim, but they swim very good. They spend so much time in the river that they sleep underwater. And they'll come up every 5 to 8 minutes to get a breath of air, and they'll never even wake up. Now, the pelicans on our left here, these are pinkback pelicans. They're kind of intelligent birds because they work together to herd fish in the shallow water so that they can all catch them a whole lot easier. All right. But right now, as we cross the bridge, I'm going to approach up here. Remember, as I said, the most important thing of all, everyone, is that you must remain fully seated. So if you do have any children with you, hold on to your children as we cross this bridge. Because under it, yeah, there's a bunch of hungry Nile crocodiles down there. They're much larger and much more aggressive than the American alligator. They can grow to be well over 20 feet long. And they crush bones with well over 2,200 pounds of pressure per square inch. And they are always hungry. That's right. Not really crossing that bridge, but it's the only way out here. Well, this is Simba 1. Over.
Just wanted to let you know that my ground patrol has seen a lot of elephant activity near the red clay pit. You definitely want to check out that area.
Well, roger that, Wilson, and thanks for the tip. Over. Well, all right, everyone. We're going to head over towards those clay pits in just a little while. But right now, we're going to leave this forest, and we're going to enter a completely different ecosystem. We're going to enter onto the Serengeti grasslands, which is home to some of our more popular animals and some of our more dangerous animals as well. And speaking of different, if you notice this tree here on our right, that's called the baobab tree. That means upside down in the Swahili language, because it looks like it's growing with its roots up in the air. But it stores large amounts of water in its trunk, and it goes leafless up to 9 months out of the year. That helps it to survive droughts that we experience out here quite often. And this is my favorite view of the reserve, and look at all the animals out here already. Yeah, hopefully we can get up close to some of them on our safari. Now, the first thing I see is right here on our right-hand side, the other side of this rock ledge, we've got some sable antelope. Now, sable, those are the official symbol of the Harambe Reserve. Yeah. On our left, there's some Patterson Zealand, the largest antelope in Africa. And of course, everybody knows we've got wildebeest right here on our right. Those are white-bearded wildebeest. They're part of the largest migrating herd of animals left on Earth. Yes, more than 1.5 million of them will cross the grasslands here every year. Those eland over there on our left, those are the largest antelope in Africa. The males, they can weigh over 2,000 pounds. And they do stand about 6 feet tall at their front shoulders. When they're fully grown, that is. Alright, well, I just spotted what looks like to be a baby giraffe coming up in front of the truck. And the giraffes on the reserve here, they're reticulated. They get their name from the Latin word reticulata, which means net-like. That refers to the net-like markings on their sides. And it seems that that little baby giraffe is interested in a couple of Ancoli cattle that he's probably never seen before. Now, the horns on the Ancoli cattle's head can grow to be 6 feet long and be up to 20 inches around. They're also called Watusi cattle for the African tribe that first domesticated them. And that baby giraffe is really interested in those cattle. Hopefully they don't injure the little guy or little girl, whichever the case may be. Now, these cones of earth we're passing here, these are termite mounds. The termites, they build these mounds by mixing their saliva with the native soil. When they bake in the sun, they do get as hard as concrete. Elephants love them. They come out here and rub all over them to scratch themselves like they're big, giant concrete scratching posts. Now, right here on our left, we got a male and a female reticulated giraffe. Yeah, who knows which one's the male? Why, the biggest one, of course. He could stand over 20 feet tall when he's fully grown. Coming up on our right-hand side, I just spotted some Thompson's gazelle, otherwise known as Tommies. Everybody mistakes these little guys for babies, but these aren't babies. They're fully grown. That's as big as they get. Unfortunately for them, they are the favorite prey of all the carnivores out here. But you wouldn't know it to look at it. That is the second fastest mammal on Earth right there. Those little Tommies could run 60 miles an hour, only to be beat out by the cheetahs who could run 70. And on our right again, just the other side of the tall grass, we've got impala, those medium-sized brown animals. Now they can escape a predator with the ability to leap over 30 feet in a single jump, which is the length of my truck. They don't even need a running start to do that. They can do that from a standstill. All right, now we've got a big old giraffe walking down the road. All right, so just remember to remain fully seated, folks, because if you fell out of here, this guy could he could break the jaw of any predator on this reserve with his hind legs. All right, we're just going to slowly follow him down the road. We call this poli-poli in Swahili, which means very slowly. And the giraffes are never in a hurry. No, they never get in too big of a hurry. But we're going to get a great look at that great big male right there. Oh, we're going to turn his head the other way so we can't get a picture of him. All right, well, we're going to get down the road here and see what else we might be able to find. We've been finding a lot of animals out here already. Well, I know that those baobab trees out in the distance on our right-hand side as well, I know those are estimated to be right about 1,000 years old. They could actually live to be twice that. That's right, up to 2,000 years these baobab trees live. But they're definitely built for survival. They could go many years without rain and, well, still be alive. All right, well, we're going to head over in this direction and see if we might be able to find any elephants. There's the warden again.
What is your location? Over.
Well, I'm about to enter elephant country. Over.
Keep your eyes open for me. We picked up a baby elephant that was wandering off on its own. We can't find the mother. I'm afraid poachers may be in the reserve.
Well, roger that, Wilson. If we see anything out of the ordinary, I'll be sure to call you and let you know right away. Over. Well, all right. Apparently the warden thinks there might be some poachers out here on reserve. That's definitely not good. But look at this. We just entered elephant country. There's a couple females with a little bitty baby elephant. Yeah. Well, that's got to be one of the littlest elephants out here on the reserve. And I can tell you about the size of it. It's no more than 6 months old. On our left, I just spotted some mandrill monkeys. The largest monkey in the world. A male mandrill can weigh 100 pounds. You can see its face. You know the most famous mandrill monkey of all would be Rafiki. That's right, Rafiki's a mandrill monkey. Now that little baby elephant there, that's a little boy elephant. It'll stay here with its mother for right about 15 years until she chases it away. If it's a little girl, it'll stay right there with its mother and the rest of the female elephants for the rest of her life. That's why the warden called us, worried about that little elephant he found wandering around. Without its mother, they would have no chance at all of survival out here in this harsh environment. Okay, well, I don't see any more elephants or any other animals around here right off, so we're going to head over towards those clay pits. See if we might be able to find those elephants. The warden sent his ground patrol and seen over there earlier. No. All right, well, I see something going on here. Well, that truck up there in front of me, it looks like it almost fell through that bridge we're going to cross here. All right, well, I do say this is one of the worst bridges on the reserve because every time I cross it, a little more of it falls off. That's right. And I do have a full truckload today as well, and that's really not good. All right, we're gonna do like I said when we was following that giraffe. We're gonna go really poly, which means slowly over it. Well, that doesn't sound very good, so maybe you should all cross your fingers for us for luck. 2 weeks ago, I didn't have... What the... Uh-oh. Whoa, hold on. Hold on, everyone. Well, all right. Well, apparently somebody back here didn't cross their fingers for us that time, I can tell. But that's okay, though. Thanks to my expert driving skills, that got us across there just in time. That's right. Hakuna Matata. Now, we didn't make it here to the clay pits in one piece, luckily. Then you can look all around here and see tusk marks in the clay. Because elephants come here, they dig the clay out, and then they eat it. That gives them vital minerals they don't get in their usual diets. Now, the warden said there was some elephants around here. If we do find any, and you notice one's wearing a collar, well, that's not somebody's pet elephant running around out here on the reserve. No, that's because the scientists here and on other reserves all around the world, they're recording and studying their vocal communication habits. They're recording sounds we can't even hear that the elephants out here use to communicate with each other. In hopes that we might better understand how they do that. And oh yeah, I see elephants out there in the distance on our left. And there's one right there as well.
Broke down.
All right. Now we'll get up here to this little watering hole. Looks like we'll get another look at another elephant up here. And now I see we've got a flock of flamingos at this next watering hole I just spotted. Now these flamingos here are the greater flamingo, and they are the least pink of all the flamingo species. They're the largest flamingo as well, and they do get that pinkish coloring by eating brine shrimp and other small crustaceans that contain beta-carotene, which is vitamin A. That's the same thing that turns the shrimp they eat pink, and it turns them pink as well. Because everybody knows you are what you eat. They're proof of that. Because without that vitamin A, they'd be gray and white instead of pinkish white. All right, well, let's see what else we can spot over here. Well, all right, now remember to remain fully seated, everyone. Here, we got some big white rhinos. They're twice the size of the black rhinos we saw back in the forest. They are one of the greatest success stories in all of Africa as well. They were once on the brink of extinction. There was only about 50 of them left in the entire world at one time. But thanks to the reserves, their numbers have increased to where they're literally now self-sustaining. We might actually find some more of them out here on our safari. Now I just spotted some ostrich eggs as well right here on our right-hand side. The largest eggs in the world right there. Now they actually weigh anywhere from 3 to 4 pounds each. It'd take over 2 dozen chicken eggs to make one of those. That definitely makes that the largest egg in the entire world. All right, we're about to have a rhino fight right here on our left-hand side, I see.
Simbawan, I see you at the junction. I suggest you go west. It will be worth it.
Well, roger that, Wilson. I'll take your word for it as usual. Over. Well, I wonder what the warden spotted from his airplane, where he would want us to take a detour. Hopefully it's something pretty good. Now, sometimes it really pays to have a set of eyes up in the sky like that, spotting out animals for us. So we're going to head up here to this little fork in the road, take a right, and head west. See if we can figure out what he was talking about. Well, I do see we're approaching this rock formation up here in front of the truck. That's called a coping. They stick out all over the grasslands, and predators love to hang out on those, like cheetahs and lions and stuff. Yeah, that's a great place to spot any prey down here they might want to chase after. Speaking of predators, look to our back left-hand side. There's a female lion laying right up in the crack of the rock up there I just spotted. Unfortunately, she's doing what lions always do. She's sleeping. Because they sleep anywhere from 18 to 20 hours every day. Wow. It's the females who do 95% of all the hunting for the lion prides as well. While the males, they stay back and protect their young. And sleep, of course. Now, here's an ostrich here on our right-hand side. And since it's black, that's a male ostrich. Females are gray. They do have wings, but they cannot fly. Although they can run up to 40 miles an hour with their powerful legs. All right. Now let's see what else we can spot down the road here. We are having pretty good luck so far. Well, I see we've got some warthog burrows here on our left. And why, there's a warthog laying way back there in the back of the shade. I can see his tusk sticking up out of his snout there. They never go far from their burrow. When they're confronted by a predator, they'll run to that burrow and back into it, exposing their razor-sharp tusk out the front. That's how they defend themselves. And, well, more ostrich eggs. Yeah, we're going to have a bunch of little ostriches running around out here again real soon, it looks like. Now, the little brown animals right here at our right-hand side, those are kind of special. Those are bontebok, and they're special on a reserve because they're extinct in the wild. Yeah, the only place they exist anymore is on reserves, but hopefully their numbers do increase now that they are fully protected under law.
There are poachers in the area.
Poachers?
Can you help us cut them off?
Well, roger that, Wilson. You know we can. Over. Well, all right. Apparently the warden needs our help. Now, as a driver on the reserve, I help the wardens out anytime they ask me to. Uh-oh. Well, it looks like Warden Wilson might need our help more than he knows right now. This is Simba 1 to Wilson. Well, it looks like those poachers must have smashed through the eastern gate of the reserve to leave. So we're leaving the reserve, and we're going to head down towards Geyser Gorge. Over.
The poachers are heading east. Keep going, and you drive them to my patrol. Over.
Well, roger that, Wilson. We're heading towards your ground patrol as fast as my old slow truck will let us. Over. Yeah, you can see how Geyser Gorge gets its name, and I know I heard gunshots out there in the forest as we was passing through that gate back there. And, well, we can't stop here, though. And there goes more. No way, I can't stop here. My truck would sink down in this mud and I'd never get it back out. And no. Oh, this is Simba 1 to Wilson. We've just found the poacher's camp. Now, there's tusks and horns everywhere out here, but no poachers.
Oh, not to worry. You drop them right into my patrol.
Well, roger that, Wilson. We'll be passing your ground patrol anytime then. Over.
The poachers ran, but they won't get far. We located them on the elephant.
Aw.
Thanks to you, they are now both dead. Asante sana, everyone.
Well, asante sana to you too, Wilson.
I have to go now. We have to get this baby elephant back to its mother.
Well, roger that. I'm glad you found that little baby elephant's mother. And I'm glad we were all here to help you out. Over. Well, all right, everyone. We helped the warden to reunite that little baby elephant with its mother. That's one good thing. But unfortunately, now that we've left the reserve, I'm afraid I'm going to have to return you all to the nearest warden outpost right up here. All right, now here in Africa, we really don't like to say goodbye to anyone, so we really don't. No, instead we say Kwaherini. That means go well in Swahili. So Kwaherini, everyone. You all go well. Have a great rest of your day out here today. And I hope you all enjoyed our safari.
And hold.
And I'm holding right here.
All right, guys, check those net bags. Watch your step, Kiribati. Welcome back, everybody.
All right, that's right.